Now, what will it take for us to get that videotape?
The Rising Phoenix. The Rising Phoenix is one of the oldest occult symbols in history. It's a well-known symbol that represents the sun, rebirth, resurrection, and immortality. It is linked to sun worship and was named a god of Phoenicia by the Phoenicians. Occultists believe that these fiery birds live on one at a time for about 500 years. When the phoenix dies, it is immediately resurrected from its own ashes and continues to live on for another 500 years. Occultists believe that the phoenix is a symbol of Lucifer, who is cast down in flames and will rise again. It is also a symbol of order out of chaos. It is considered to be one of the main symbols for the Illuminati and the Antichrist.
Gently into oblivion.
Not sure if anyone else noted this or paid careful attention to this, but I wanted to bring it to your attention just in case, because before we get into the actual halftime show, I wanted to note and let you be aware of Justin Timberlake and what Justin Timberlake was actually wearing. As you can see right here, the jacket right here that was worn in about the first 4 minutes of the performance, and I'm going to talk about why that's so significant also in a moment. Notice how it is very reminiscent to what Beyonce wore at the 2016 BET Awards that was done. And as you can see right here, what is this very reminiscent of? We have this theme of Beyonce once again, but we also have what? The phoenix rising out of the ashes. Notice how what looks to be fire right here that's coming out, if you actually pay careful attention, and if you note right here, it's the black right there, just like with Justin Timberlake wearing the black right here, black right there, and we're going to be taking a look more at that and how that relates to the Golden Globes as we've talked about last month. Again, the theme of the arrival of the phoenix rising from the ashes, phoenix rising out of the ashes, order out of chaos, as you can even see right here, which is also depicted on your dollar bill, which we know, of course, stems from ancient Egypt and ancient Egyptian religion. And it's no coincidence either how Beyonce wore that at the 2016 BET Awards, and then you had Justin Timberlake wearing that recently at the Super Bowl, but then you have the Economist cover from 1988 that even just so happens to feature a picture showing the phoenix rising out of the ashes and saying, "Get ready for a world currency." And it just so happens that this year's Super Bowl that took place in Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, was 4 days before the Winter Olympics that will be taking place all throughout this week and next week in South Korea. And notice how at the closing ceremony at the London Olympics in 2012 also featured what? A phoenix rising out of the ashes? What perfect timing indeed. So again, here you see Justin Timberlake wearing this jacket right here, which is then taken off at the 4-minute mark, and we'll be talking more about that, along with Beyonce wearing the exact same thing at the 2016 BET Awards, something very similar to that, and note all black, and we'll be talking about that also. But notice how Beyonce wore this and performed this at the 2016 BET Awards only a few months following Beyonce's performance at the Super Bowl 50 that was only 2 years ago with Bruno Mars and also with Coldplay. We've talked about this before in previous videos about the Super Bowl 50 back in 2016 that was held in California. As you can see right here, note all of the colors and how it says believe in love. You can see right here, if you look closely, it has a cross right there, which represents what? The false cross, the false peace symbol, and all of these colors, the false love. It's getting ready for the anti-Messiah, the New World System.
Of a highly anticipated Disney Channel original movie, Descendants 2. Here they are with a mashup of ways to be wicked.
We take what we want. There's so many ways to be wicked. With us, evil is on the right side of wrong. There's so many ways to be wicked.
We live in a world right now where the problem is we don't know what normal is. Because all we've ever known is a fallen universe in which the wicked one holds sway. 1 John 5.
ashes of defeat, rise from the ashes. Hope burns, we rise from the ashes, rise from the ashes.
Building up an army that I want to fight. Harry Potter.
Reset fallout boy, go!
Understands who the dragon is and comes to the understanding of the dragon is not to be feared, that it is, this depicts the Nakash as pretty much what I've described already in the story of Apollo going to Delphi and St. John. You have the chthonic dragon here wrapped up in a gray death state with the sword it slew itself with in its own mouth still. So obviously this bottom portion here, when you're seeing this dragon, the dragon's killed itself and it's underground. You can see it's in a cave. And there's all these human figures that are kind of emerging alongside of him. And just above him, of course, you have this phoenix with its sort of a shell beneath it. And that is standing in front of this background of golden stars with this sort of darker blue background. And the people that are coming out of the ground here are going into that portal, the Asterion. So you have, I mean, the starry one, you have that concept accentuated here, the Asterion, right behind the phoenix. You know, the double meaning there, right there in front of you. And then I noticed the circle that you have here. You'll have a brighter outside, the way the artist did this. And then he changed sort of subtly the coloring and the shading here so that there was a circle that's around this mandorla, this almond-shaped center. And the idea, the circle, is a symbol for Apollo. You'll see a circumpunt. The Masons use it a lot, a dot with a circle around it, symbolizing the sun. Or Apollo, it won't say Apollo, but notice where the center of the circle is, it's right above little baby's head, which in turn is right above the head of the phoenix. Like, who's that?
Oh wow, yeah.
I wonder. And still, if you're not understanding the story well, you look up a little bit higher, and then they have the Pan-like figure in the branches there, distributing his Cydonia fruit out to the little girl there next to him.
Wow, yeah.
Receiving it. That is in the UN Security Council room. And of course, behind them, I'm looking at the pictures, kind of small on my screen, you have the festival. Everybody's enjoying themselves, and the people sort of that are joining the festival are being released from their bonds, their the slavery that they were in. And you know, of course, the attitude about whoever painted this, who he would think was the oppressor here.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really obvious that people have this information about what the Nakash has planned for mankind, even in buildings like the UN, and they're not perceiving it. It's done. It's put there, right there, in front of them, and they still can't see. If they read their mythology, though, and they can now, it's all out there for free they may start getting a better idea of what this is all about.